welcome to another episode here at Deep Mountain Security. Today I want to go over another way that you can use to test your antivirus software. So before I do that, quick update for today in security. There's kind of been a couple of things that have kind of come across to my attention. Some of these may be relevant to you, some of these might not. And I'll post links below for some of this stuff, but Lenovo, their laptop fingerprint scanners for about a dozen models or so, they found some information that involved hard-coded passwords in the fingerprint readers. So they've got an update for it, I believe, and so I'll post that in a link below. Another thing is that Google Ads have started putting coin miners, cryptocurrency miners, in the ads themselves, so that's kind of interesting. I might make a video on that if more people want to know more about that another day. Let me know in the comments. Also, yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. So anyways, we're going to be using this Comodo leak test application to test a couple of different things. That includes rootkits, DLL injection, and a bits hijacking. And so what that is, rootkits allows it to install something on your system that allows hackers to pretty much gain access to pretty much whatever they want. DLLs are different parameters and libraries that Windows uses. And so it'll try to inject that into a couple of different applications and whatnot. And then bits is the background intelligent transfer service, which is used for Windows to download files in the background for like Windows updates and other system processes. So, you know, that's considered secure, which no other application shouldn't be able to use that. So it's going to test these couple things now. I'll note that this link right here is broken. However, I will post a working link down below to a site that I've got, like kind of a test site of mine. So hopefully that should keep working for you guys. But anyways, so let's go ahead and run that just to see kind of what it does here. So after you download and extract the files, we're going to go ahead and run this clt.exe and click yes. And then so you're going to see that it's got a series of tests right here that we can kind of go through. And so I'm just going to go ahead and click test, and we're going to kind of see what happens here or whatever. And we can already see that we're vulnerable to a couple of stuff, and it's going to take a minute or two for it to run through all these things. But this is just one way that you can use to discover what you're vulnerable on and what you're not. So we'll go ahead and let it finish its thing. But in the meantime, there's a couple of other applications that we can also use to test our antivirus system or whatever. And everybody's antivirus is going to be different. Some will protect you better from these than others. And so you might need to reconfigure your antivirus or play around with some of the settings before you can actually get it to pass a lot of these. So for example, Windows Defender has some settings that you can kind of mess with. Let me get this open here. So if we can see there's a couple of different things we can mess around with here. So, we've got some advanced settings and some different things here. But anyway, so different things here are going to open up different kinds of settings for different kinds of scans and whatnot. And you can go in and tell it what kind of access you want to give it, what you want it to scan. And then once again, different things are going to look for different kinds of things. So, we can click on, for example, exploit protection, and you can see that, so that, there's some things that aren't currently on or some things that are, so we're not currently forcing randomization for images, yet we are enforcing some other stuff. There's some system settings and there's some program settings. And so you can kind of customize these by programs, and you'll notice that there's just tons and tons of different options in here. Most of this is like if you need to override system settings, so allow it. So if you want to turn something on or off specifically for a specific application, then you can go ahead and you can do that for different applications and system settings on your device itself. So, you know, there's a lot to Windows Defender, and once again, every antivirus system is going to be completely different. So depending on how yours is configured, you know, you might pass or not pass more or less of these. But I just kind of quickly wanted to show you guys that not every antivirus is going to patch and fix every single vulnerability that you have. You know, different devices or antivirus software is going to have different results for different things. And so just play around with your settings, you know, maybe not a whole lot, you know, turning tons of stuff on or off. If you're not sure about whether or not that might break your system or cause some files to stop or programs to stop working, you know, then maybe that's not completely desirable. If you have a particular antivirus solution you would like me to test out and play around with and configure for you, then let me know and I'll see if I can do a video on it. Otherwise, yeah, so there's just tons and tons of options for every different thing, and you'll notice that some paid versions will be better than free versions of antivirus software. Once again, every antivirus software is going to be completely different. And sometimes the difference between the paid and the free version really isn't all that big. So I kind of want to do some more videos on that eventually as well. But I, you know, just wanted to show you that, you know, most systems are actually do have quite a number of things that they're vulnerable to that you might not know about, that Windows Defender or whatever your antivirus software is might be vulnerable to. So, you know, it might be a good idea to go and run this program and then go ahead and see if you can maybe look up some of these items on Google and see why you're vulnerable to them or get some more information from them. But anyways, so it's going to do a ton of different stuff, and then we can go through it and kind of analyze more about our system and, you know, try and figure out if it's something that we actually might, you know, be worried about. Whereas sometimes you might not be worried. That was weird. About, that's probably one of the tests actually. You might not be super worried about, that's probably another one of the tests. So it's going to go through and run a couple of different things here. But anyways, so now that it's finished, we can probably go back through and take a look at some of what it's done here. But anyway, so it looks like it's opened some applications, tried to run some different plugins and whatnot, tried to download some images from their website most likely. So it's kind of done a couple of things here. But one of the you know, not all of these are going to be easily exploitable. Some of these you might have to have physical access to your box. Others you might be able to do remotely, or if I can get you to download a file, you know, then that might be enough. So everything's going to be completely different. So you can see there's a couple different things that this particular Windows installation looks like it might be vulnerable to. So, you know, I might be able to further exploit some of these and, you know, mess with my antivirus until I can figure out a solution that will keep me safe and secure from as much of these as possible. Now, some of the more important ones are going to be rootkit installations. If you have one of these that pops up on here, you might be a good idea to click on the little mystery box thing and drop down to get some information about individual items. So, you know, we can go ahead and take a look. So I had this rootkit installation change driver path. So it looks like it tries to change the path of an already existing driver by using Service Control Manager. So a malicious device driver could be loaded due to the fact that it acts as part of the operating system with maximum privileges. So, you know, that's a really good thing to know. I probably want to take steps to prevent that. And so, you know, might do some particular more Google searches for your particular version of Windows and see if you can figure out more about it. If you guys want more in-depth videos on specific topics, let me go ahead and know, and I will see what I can do. But that concludes today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this and learned a little bit more about your antivirus system and how to test and see what's vulnerable and what's not. Now, this does run with administrative privileges, but that's because, you know, most of the time that's just needed so that way it can get access to some of the services that it needs to be able to get access to. So, similar to if you were installing a malicious executable file, maybe, something that you downloaded that might have been a legit program, other people have reviewed it, but you happen to download the wrong image file for it or something like that, or the wrong executable, and, the hashes don't match up, and you forgot to check the hashes, and it went through and did something like this while, asked for administrator privileges. Maybe you were installing the wrong version of Nmap or something, malicious version of it or something. So, it asks for permission to access your network drivers or something like that, and in the process it got access to some more stuff. So there's a lot of different ways that this could happen, but anyways, I just kind of wanted to show you guys that most systems are fairly vulnerable, and so you have to take steps yourself to be vigilant and looking for ways to test your system and make sure that you're as secure as possible. Now, it's the likelihood that I'm going to download and install something that'll do stuff like this is fairly low, particularly for me, because I know what to look for. I know how to find, what files to not install in my system, what files might be doing malicious stuff. And so, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching here at Deep Mountain Security. Don't forget to subscribe to our video channel if you haven't already, and have a great day.